Hey, everybody, welcome again to the Jozabad Podcast. Jozabad Podcast, episode 12. Today we have none other than Mr. Mando San Roman. Mando!
Peace. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you for coming to the show today. Uh, Mando San Roman, he is the current morning show host of Super Tejano.
Yeah.
Welcome, Mando. Welcome. ¿Cómo estás?
Well, pleasure to be here with you. It's it's been a while, and we're here ready to rock and roll. Just getting ready for the holidays, and just enjoying life to the fullest.
Oh, man, getting ready for the holidays. Hey, how was Thanksgiving for you?
Thanksgiving was great. Actually, got to eat turkey, and then afterwards we ate some turkey, and then after that we ate some more turkey. I love turkey, so actually, you know what? I could eat turkey, maybe not every day, but certainly, pretty often. I really like it, man. I like
Uh,
the
I've,
Thanksgiving
I've
dinners.
always wondered, man, turkey is so great. Why don't we only eat it once a year?
Yeah, I don't know. Every opportunity actually that I get, every now and then, sometimes when we go to Luby's,
Right.
I'd get some turkey, but it's good. I like it, pretty much at any time. Uh, like the stuffing, and one thing that I really love is something that my wife makes, and she does an amazing job at it. It's the green bean casserole, and she only
Oh,
does it during Thanksgiving, so it's something that I look forward to every single year.
I the green bean casserole. What I look forward to is my mother-in-law's green spaghetti. It's
Órale.
amazing
Ah,
stuff, man. And
sounds good.
oh yeah, oh yeah. What are the plans coming up for Christmas? I mean, is it going to be at home?
Yeah, pretty much. Honestly, it is because of the current situation. With the
Yeah.
pandemic and stuff. We want to be as safe as possible. Do our best. We preach it on the radio all the time. Stay home. Don't go to big gatherings and stuff. So I try to live by it as much as I can. Occasionally, I'll have to go to somewhere where there's more than the a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
But certainly I try to do that. And then my mom is up in age, so we try to take care of her. I wish I could visit her more often, as it is. As it is.
Right.
I'm not one to visit family too much, to be honest with you. It's just the way I've been forever, man. I'm a loner. It's funny. I work in radio, I work in TV and stuff, and I do all this stuff that has to do a lot with people. But in my personal time, I spend a lot of time, just with my wife, my kids, and stuff, and that's pretty much it. But again, the Christmas holidays coming up, we usually do get together as a family. On the 24th, we get
Mhm.
together with my in-laws,
Right.
and they're a pretty good sized family. And then on Christmas Day, the 25th, we actually usually get together with my side of the family, which we're pretty big. Porque ya, it's the nieces, nephews, not my grandkids, but my brothers and stuff. So it's a pretty large crowd that we gather. But this year, not gonna happen. We're
All
just
right.
gonna have to, I guess everybody in their own home as much as possible. Yeah.
You mentioned something very specific that you say a lot in radio. You guys are spreading the communication and spreading the message of, mitigate the factors, educate, wash your hands, wear your masks, etc. And that's something that we definitely have to continue. I mean, it's our duty to go ahead and let everybody know, what, if you don't remember, hey, just mask up. Hey, wash your hands. Hey, stay away from me, and that's the only way we're gonna get through this through and through. I mean, it's something that it's definitely affecting us, and it's affecting our area tremendously. I believe yesterday the numbers were we were at 16% hospitalization rate. Is that correct?
I'm not too sure, but I believe it's getting up there. It's slowly but surely creeping up again.
Right.
And certainly after the Thanksgiving holiday, a lot of people, they have the COVID fever, the COVID actually fatigue, and they feel like getting together with family and stuff. So a lot of people didn't really abide by what we've been suggesting, and so there's going to be some more infections coming up.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and
Qué
then with the
triste, man.
flu. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad to hear, but unfortunately, that's the way it is, and that's the way it's going in the whole nation, and not only in the nation but worldwide. But so we need to be ready, be prepared, and it's just a little bit more. Vaccines are already getting approved. It's already been approved in the UK. I
Right,
believe they're going
right.
to start vaccinating pretty soon, and very soon here in the US. So just if we just give it a little bit more time, just a little sacrifice of keeping the social distance, continuing with the masking up and the hand, sanitation. Either sanitizing or washing your hands, and just keep on doing it just a little bit longer, and we should be through this going forward. What are the years? 2021, it looks like a very promising year for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Oye, Mando, talk to me about Mando San Roman. How did Mando San Roman get started con la música, with the radio, with TV? I've heard about you since for as long as I can remember. I mean,
Yeah.
so, ¿cómo comenzaste?
Yeah, yeah. I've been around for a while. Well, it all. I guess the love of music started from home. My parents. As a matter of fact, today earlier having a conversation with my wife. She likes to when she eats. She likes to have it nice and peace and quiet. It's the no music or anything.
Hmm.
I like to have noise. I like to have music. It's just the way my kids are the same way. They're getting ready, they're doing whatever they're doing, and they love to have music on. And that's the way it was. When I was a kid,
Right.
my mom and dad always had music. Todo. So my mom had the radio on 24 hours a day, believe it or not, even if
Hmm.
it was poquito bajito, but she had it on. So, my love of music started at an early age. So I love music. Everything pretty much that I do is involved with music. I started as a musician when I was 13 years old with a rock band. The name of the band was Sunrise, and we used to do some rock music. And then, shortly, slowly but surely, you started seeing that there was more money, excuse me, to be made here locally anyway in
Right.
Tejano music. So, slowly but surely, it's into that. And I started in radio back in 1979, graduated high school back in 78, many years ago.
Uh-huh.
And so pretty much immediately, I started going to UTRGV, which is not back then it was Pan American University under the journalism or department. And so at the same time I started applying. I had a fever for radio. I just wanted to get into the arts. Whether
Right.
it was radio, TV, acting. I did a little bit of acting when I was a kid in junior high. I
Hmm.
did some plays. By fortune, I don't know, I got a couple of the lead roles and stuff. So the arts has always attracted or been attractive to me.
Right.
And so, little by little, I started, like I said, I had the urge to do radio. One of my idols was Casey Kasem, from the American Top 40. And so I love the way he did radio, and some of the other local jocks from around here from back then, the stations that were on. And I was, my direction was in English radio.
Hmm.
To me, I liked KRGV, which was an AM station,
Right.
KRIO, which I eventually got to work at, and B104 came on later on, KBFM 104, which is now Wild 104.
Hmm.
And so I actually got hired, believe it or not, which is now Wild 104. Unfortunately, the weekend that I was going to start in radio, we had a death in the family, had to go out of town. Asked my boss, and he said, "Yeah, that's cool. You can go. Just when you come back on Monday, let me know." So I did. Because I was going to start doing the weekends, and he said, "Okay, cool. I'll see you on Sunday." As a matter of fact, I was going to start running the American Top 40 show and
Hmm.
doing 2 hours live on the radio at 104. Well, lo and behold, I show up on Sunday. There was somebody else here. I said, "What?" And they said, "Oh man, who'd you talk to?" I said, "Well, talk to Bobby Orlando. He was used to be the program director there." And they said, "You know what? He's no longer here. He got into it with the boss, left on Tuesday or Wednesday. I don't know what day it was because I had talked to him on a Monday." And they said, "There's a new guy in town. His name's Steve Owens, crazy Steve Owens." So I called Steve on Monday, but it was totally different. See, honestly, they didn't need anybody,
Right.
but Bobby Orlando gave me the opportunity because he saw my enthusiasm and stuff. And so, anyway, short story long, eventually, Bobby Orlando put in a good word for me with TK, who was the program director at KRIO. He hired me and worked there for a few years, couple of 2 or 3 years. After that, I went to KIWW. radio, 96.1, worked there for about 17, 18 years. And then after that, I went to La M, La Mejor, regional Mexican station,
Right.
100% Spanish. I never thought I would work in regional Mexican radio. But, when I made the jump to that company, I didn't even know what format I was going to be working in.
Right.
I just knew because they used to own the TV show that I was on, which was Puro Tejano. I don't know if you remember that back in the
Man. Well, let's take a time out right there
sure, sure,
because
sure, sure.
I think this is where I got introduced to you,
Right,
Mando San Roman. I got introduced to Rock and Roll James. I got
right.
in, I must have been maybe about 10 years old, and
Wow.
and
Well, I feel old.
Puro Tejano was on TV, right?
Yeah,
And,
yeah,
and
yeah.
and and one of the contests was Fandango USA. They were giving away the Charanga shirt.
Oh, wow.
So Rock here I remember seeing Rock on TV, and he's like,
Yeah.
just write to this address and submit, and we'll pick a winner.
Uh-huh.
Lo and behold, man, I won, and
Wow.
and I got the Charanga T-shirt or the Fandango USA T-shirt, um, and I was hooked. I was listening to radio at that time, and my dad
Were
was
you
always.
listening to Tejano radio?
I was listening to Spanish radio,
Wow. Yeah.
98.5. I was listening. I remember
LGBT. Yeah.
KGBT,
Yeah.
KRIO.
There we go. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. And
KIWW was the Tejano station back then, 96.1.
KIWW, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was
Yeah.
listening to a lot of Tejano. See, my brother, he's 15 years my elder,
Mhm.
born in '69, and a lot of the music that he grew up listening to is a lot of the music that I grew up listening to.
Wow.
So the influences are there, and this is something that we would talk about when, well, I think on KGBT we would listen to Football Scoreboard.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Hugo de la Cruz. Oh, my goodness. Well, yeah. Mr. Nifunifa.
Well, and this is what would happen, right? So like I would be a kid and I would call in. And
Yeah.
at the time, Bill Clinton was president. So I
Oh,
would
wow.
call in and pretend to be Bill Clinton. Uh,
Wow.
Hello, I want to go ahead and congratulate the Mission Eagles for their win tonight. Comienza, cosas así. And they're like, ¿quién es este que está hablando? Es el
Wow.
presidente, etc. So I was calling in with impressions,
Wow.
but I was hooked. Radio, and then I and
Yeah.
then I started listening Mando, Rock, and I was like, wow, I want to do that. Let's do that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what how do you mold, or how do you take individuals like myself under your
Mhm.
wing when you work with them?
Well, pretty much, what you do in radio, and see, things have changed, throughout the years. When I started in radio, I remember I knocked on a lot of doors,
Hmm.
and a lot of times they would tell me, well, you need to work on your pipes, you need to, talk from the diaphragm and all this stuff, and I to me, to this date, I think I have more of a Kermit the Frog type of voice. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like one of those big pipes, like back
Right.
then here in the market, we had a Mike Cantu, Manny Lopez, Raul Hernandez, the big voices in radio.
Right.
I was looking at American radio, English radio, which is called general market radio. And to me, those were more personalities. I didn't want to be a radio announcer. I didn't want to be a DJ. I wanted to be more of a personality, and
Hmm.
that was my direction. So I got, a lot of time, I knocked on doors and they were closed on me. Eventually, somebody gave me the opportunity, like I said, which was Bobby Orlando initially. After that, TK, then Mike Cantu, Manny Lopez, all those guys. So, uh, what I would suggest to somebody right now, if you would want to get into radio, which honestly, you can do it on the internet.
Right. Yeah.
But if you wanted to get to what we call terrestrial radio, which are the FM stations nowadays, AM también, but just work on your personality more than anything, because right now that's what they look for, somebody that is more of an influencer
Hmm.
rather than an announcer, radio DJ. uh, be an influencer, connect with your people. And nowadays, you have so much with social media that you have so much to bounce back from. And it's just becoming a personal. Be yourself.
Right, right,
Be Don't try to be somebody else, because sometimes when you try to do that, then obviously you're under somebody's shadow. Just
right,
be yourself, and try to connect with that one person. I always tell people when I start training somebody from the beginning, that they come in, I can see the hunger, I can see the desire. I always tell them, never talk to a lot of people. Although, always when you're in radio or TV, you have thousands, sometimes millions of people out there listening. But the only one person that matters is that one person listening to you at that moment. That
hmm
person sitting in the car, that person sitting at a desk working, that person that's, just by themselves. It's one person. So, and always smile
yeah,
when you
yeah,
talk on the radio. Even though nobody's watching you, you must always smile, because believe it or not, that radiates on the radio.
yeah. And that's something that we speak about when creating a passion, finding your voice, and
Yeah,
that's what I'm listening and I'm hearing as you speak.
sure.
It's one of those things where people understand or misinterpret things, but when you're radiating that positivity, that message, I
Yeah,
mean, you're gonna connect. You're gonna connect
absolutely.
because it's genuine, ¿verdad?
Yeah, yeah.
Oye, Mando. So
Mhm.
let me ask you this question, man, because when you said you had a group and you started
Mhm.
off as a rock
Oh, yeah.
band called
Yeah, yeah,
Sunrise,
yeah.
¿verdad?
Sunrise,
Pero,
yeah.
pero then you transitioned into the Tejano scene.
Correct.
How many years did you go from being in rock, and then in comparison, how many years did you have in Tejano?
Oh my gosh. Well, let me see. Well, in rock, like I said, I was 13 years old.
hmm
I started with a band, Charlie, Rod, Juan, my brother Joe, he was a drummer. Jimmy was our vocalist, God rest his soul. And anyway, so I'm trying to think of the band. So, uh, gosh, I was 13. So then at 14, I went into high school, 15, maybe at 16, maybe. I'm thinking, I'm not too sure. Locally, I started jamming with a band there in Progreso. That's where I grew up, a small town, right, border town, right? Many people, I tell them, I'm from Progreso. Oh, is it Mexico? No, no, no. That's Nuevo Progreso. It's Mexico. We're
Right,
on the
right.
Texas side, Progreso. So anyway, yeah, I played with that band maybe about 2 or 3 years, maybe a couple of years. I'm not too sure. And then eventually, by the same way, my older brother Frank Pancho, he's the one that would listen to Tejano music all the time. Little Joe, Agustin Ramirez, Freddie Martinez. I'm talking about back then, back in the
Right.
uh, late '60s, early '70s. And so that's what exposed me to Tejano music. I wasn't crazy about it, to be honest with you. I really didn't. I said, man, I don't like that music. But you know what? It grew on me. Now I hear those songs that I heard back then, like, dang, it takes me back. But so anyway, I guess it was about 15. I'm thinking about maybe 16 when I started playing with the Tejano band. My brother, Joe, who's the drummer, he's the one that started playing with a band here locally in Far. And that's when I joined the band. And ever since back then, after that, I played with a couple of bands from here, the Far area. Then started playing with a band in Brownsville. I think it was 17. I was a senior in high school, and I played with those bands over there for about 4 or 5 years. Eventually, my brother and I made a band together. You know, like I said, in Brownsville, played with Chicano Brass, Los Malos, Chicano Five, and then my brother and I we made a band called La Diferencia. We recorded with Cara Records, which was the record company for Tejano bands back then. It was La Mafia, Mas, I think Selena was also recording with them, and all the big artists. And so we got into that record company. Well, they found out that there was another band by the same name of La Diferencia, so we had to immediately change the name. We couldn't come up with a name, my brother and I, so we just came up with La Ganga, like a gang.
Right.
And later we found out ganga really means a bargain. So it was the same thing. We were a gang and we were a
You're
bargain
a
anyway. So
bargain.
yeah, either way, it was a play on words. So and and then a few years after that, we stuck together. We went through a couple of transitions with the band eventually, and then back in '85, joined a band that already had three of our former band members. which is our bass and a guitar player, and who else was in the band that was with us before? No, it was him too. And then later on, the vocalist also after my brother and I joined that band, Sereno is the name of the band, by the way. After my brother and I joined Sereno, along with the guitar and the bass player, the a vocalist that used to, oh yeah, that's it. The vocalist used to be with La Ganga, also was part of that band. Eventually, he got out. We got another vocalist. Name is Carlos Aleman. To date, he's still with the band, and we are still all together. It's
Wow.
the founder of the band, Jesse Cavazos, my brother Joe San Roman, Carlos Aleman, the vocalist, and myself were the original band members of Sereno, well, since back in '85. And
Mhm.
then we have two new members, well, fairly new, a couple of years old with the band. Jimmy Cano, who's a Hall of Fame bass player, and Javi Guerra, great guitar player. So, and still playing to this day with Sereno. Of course, right now we don't do much playing because of the COVID, but we're still going.
Man, that's great. And when we talk about individuals that find a passion, we talk about somebody, when you're doing what you love, you never
Yeah,
work a day in your life, right? And
absolutely.
and that's what we're talking about. And man, I've known of you, I've known of your band, and for those listening, if you've never checked them out, you can find them on Apple Music, you can find them on
Absolutely.
Spotify, you can find them on YouTube. Grupo Sereno. One of their
Sereno with a Z.
hits,
It's with a Z.
one of their hits, "Hermoso Dia," is an amazing song. Let's take a listen to it. Let's see this song right now, and I just want to introduce it to our viewers here. Here we go.
Sure.
Hermoso día cuando tu cara vi, llegaste a mi vida a hacerme feliz. Yeah. Hermoso día cuando te conocí y sé que eras mía desde que te vi. Días como
What a beautiful song. Now, this song, what was the thought process behind this
Well,
whole
believe it or
writing?
not, a lot of people think that I wrote that song.
Uh-huh.
I have written a couple of songs for the band, but I wish that I had come up with this song. That song was actually written by a man who's already in heaven. His name is Luis Silva. Luis Silva used to be the premier songwriter for Tejano music. He would
Mhm.
write songs for, Mas, La Mafia, Shelly Lares, David Amaris. I mean, you name it. He was writing songs for everybody. He was like the top songwriter. And he knew of our band, and I had met him some while back, and he said, man, I have a song that I want you guys to record. So we recorded that song, and gosh, that song just took off like crazy. Before that, we had one other hit that the band had recorded before that, and that was Mi Amiga. That song I actually wrote myself, and that song did very well for us. So then when we had the follow-up with Hermoso Dia Nombre, boom, that song has not died out, I swear. That's like one of the most requested songs, todavía up to date. I think we did a just a little short studio video.
Mhm.
That song has got over 1 million views on it, and it's nothing fancy or anything, man, but it's just the song itself. I think the thought process in that song when Luis wrote it was it was a song that could be written for your daughter. Like it's a beautiful day when you met your daughter. It could be a beautiful day when you meet God. Hermoso día cuando te conocí. So if you listen to the words, it could really play into any relationship situation when it's a beautiful day when you meet that person. And great song. I mean,
It's
hats off to the guy. I was fortunate, to be part of uh, the production process and ¿cómo se llama? The arrangement process. So the song did real good. Thanks to God.
No, hombre, you're a co-writer, you're a co-producer, you're everything on that song, ¿verdad? You were in the room.
Yeah, well, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. We've had to redo that song a couple of times because people can't find it anymore on albums. So this one that you just played right now is the latest version that we did, and that song is on the one of the latest CDs that we've I think about 3 years old or something like that. But it we have the same arrangements as we try to keep it as it was when we originally recorded the song.
No, hombre, it's a great song. Like you said, it took off. It took off, and it's something that I believe anybody that plays it as soon as they wake up, they're gonna have a great day.
Oh
And
yeah, yeah.
that's the message, because you have two choices when you wake up, ¿verdad? You're
Oh
either
yeah.
gonna make it a great day or you're gonna have it a really terrible day. And if it, you know, the way you decide to start your day is the way you're gonna end your day, pretty much, ¿verdad?
Absolutely.
Yo siempre le digo a la gente, oye, make your bed. What? Why? Pues hey, when you go into a hotel room, what do you see? A made bed, ¿verdad?
Absolutely.
It makes you feel great. So
Mhm.
So, by the time you get home, you can have the worst day, but you come home to a made bed and it's an hermoso día.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. I tell my wife the same thing, because when you make your bed, if everything else goes wrong, at least when you come home, you see the bed's made. Imaginas if you had a bad day and then your bed's all messed up, like, oh, it just adds to the. But I always say, and it's I'm so glad you have that same thought process that I do. I always, my motto is todo positivo, nada negativo. I always say that.
Mhm,
And because I like to see it everything, in a positive way,
yeah.
even when things, go bad, maybe your car has a flat tire, you have a headache, whatever it is, something that delays you from getting to work. You never know, man. It might be saving your life. Uh, don't let things bring you down. There's so many things that we have, that we can be thankful for. So many things just right here as we're looking at each other. I have a house. I have, some shades on the window, or some window coverings, whatever. I'm wearing a shirt. I have headphones. I have glasses to see. I have a shirt. I have
Mhm,
shoes. I'm wearing socks. I have underwear. So many things to be thankful for. And then some people let a headache bring them down, or a flat tire. Like, really,
yeah.
really,
Yeah.
we have life, two arms, two legs. My God, so many things to be thankful for.
No, but it's because como dices tú, like it goes back to that 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 aura that we give off, that those vibes that we give off, and it's very easy to be negative,
Mhm.
but it's harder to be somebody positive, somebody that can actually create some change, create some good stuff into the world. That's something that we tell our kids all the time. I work at a school, and one of the things we told them, like, hey man, be the change. You want to be the
Yeah.
change, you have to do something positive. Oye, so you still travel with the band. You guys are still gigging. Obviously not in the COVID world, but you guys are still gigging.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what? For a while, we stopped back in. Well, I don't even remember when we kind of stopped. We just decided one day. We had so many weddings and quinceañeras and all that social stuff. I was say, you know what? Let's stop traveling. I was getting a little too much, and so we decided, we're just not going to book anything out of town anymore. Maybe around here, San Antonio, Corpus, or whatever, not any further. And then slowly but surely, things start slowing down a little bit and stuff. And we still kept getting calls from Idaho, from Ohio, from Washington State, from Chicago, Florida, and around the state, Houston, Austin, whatever,
Mhm.
and Dallas. And we decided, you know what? Let's go. Maybe not often, but every now and then. So this year, well, actually last year, we actually started gigging out of town again. We flew out to Chicago, to Ohio,
Mhm.
played in Dallas. So we already had some other bookings, but then COVID happened.
Hombre.
So all that got put on hold. So, ni modo. It is what it is. And God knows why. Uh, we just respect nature and science. And but yeah, we still we'll still do it. We still want to
Oh yeah.
get out there.
Let me ask you this question, and this is something that our viewers want to know.
I, oh,
Listen,
hey, yeah, of
listen,
course.
listen, listen, esto. Everything has its ups and its downs, ¿verdad? And this band has been around for over 20
Gosh,
years.
40, I think it's been over 30, 40. Gosh, I don't even 80. It's been about 30 years, 30 something years, 32
Ha-
years or something like that.
Here's the question: has this band ever gone through a let's separate because of whatever reason,
Oh, like a breakup or something?
like a breakup,
Yeah, yeah.
like
Like
Van
we're gonna stop.
Halen? Yeah, like let's
Yeah.
get another lead singer, like let's get another guitarist.
Well, we have our ups and downs.
Hmm.
It's a relationship with a band. We're like brothers, but brothers have disagreements, and we've had them every now and then. And we actually, I think our bass player one time, God rest his soul, because he passed away
Hmm.
just about a year, a couple of years back from cancer, unfortunately. Uh, he just decided he didn't want to be with the band anymore, and whatever the reason was. But he was only out for a couple of months, came back, and we were very happy to welcome him back.
Yeah.
And by the same token, we've had a few guitar players. Our original guitar player with Sereno, he was actually, it's funny. The guitar player with Sereno was Charlie Vela. He is the first guitar player I ever played with. My brother and I. He was the leader of the band Sunrise, and so we brought him into the band when we did a Tejano band, and so anyway, we played together for many years. But eventually, he decided to get out of the band with Sereno,
Hmm.
and we kept the bass player, Henry Soto, God rest his soul. And de ahí para allá, we've had our disagreements. There's no doubt about it.
Hmm.
Pero nos enojamos y nos conformamos. It's like our vocalist. We've had some things that we've gone through in the past. He's an amazing singer. There's no one like him,
Right.
Carlos Alemán. And for whatever reason, we've had some disagreements, but we've always managed to get through it.
Okay.
And at this point, we're together, man. I mean, we're
That's good.
together forever. Till
Eh,
death was part,
Es
practically.
que, es que son familia.
Yeah.
That's what it
That's what we
boils
call it.
down to, ¿verdad? Pueden haber disgustos, pero el disgusto nomás es por poquito, unless you really get, tied down for whatever reason, and we know that,
Yeah.
pero moving forward, that's a beautiful thing. So you wrote and you had 100% creative control on Mi Amiga.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Let's hear that
Exactly.
one.
Oh, you got it. Oh, awesome. Awesome.
Lo que yo quiero es una amiga, amiga con quien pueda platicar, para compartir lo que la vida trae, lágrimas de llanto y de felicidad, juntos olvidar lo que es la soledad. Lo que yo quiero es una amiga fiel a quien pueda confiar. Todos sentimientos y secretos que hay encerrados dentro de mi corazón. Hoy y para siempre quiero su amistad. Y esa amiga eres tú. Aquí en mi vida quiero verte llegar. Nunca nos volveremos a separar. Mi amiga siempre serás tú. Y esa amiga eres tú.
that song took off, and I can attest to that too. Is
Mm.
a little known fact. If you, I don't know if you knew that, but I don't know if you remember me, but I used to work with you at Univision,
Yeah, I do. I do remember you. Yes.
and we were there, and in that I remember going by, and I would always see you guys in the radio, but I would always want in like the ability to connect with people and through music.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah.
And when we look at that song and we listen to those songs, I was thinking to myself, like, man, lyrics are important.
Yeah.
And that's something that are, in my personal opinion, the artists or the music that is being put out right now doesn't focus much on lyrics. It focuses more on the beat, on how it, it sounds, the intonation. And we miss the days of getting an LP, ¿verdad? And
Correct.
reading the lyrics.
Yeah. Yeah. Remember that? Yeah, man. Those were the days, man. Getting the LPs and reading all the credits and stuff. Now you get song at a time. And that
Yeah,
uh, you got to go to the times.
right.
Yeah, and and you're right. A lot of times, and it depends. It depends on the singers. There's a lot of, I think, it depends on the genre of music.
Right.
Sometimes the genre of music seems to be a bit shallow. Depends on who wrote it, and but then there's some that are like very deep, very very. I love the lyrics and on stuff, and this song in particular, I actually wrote it for my wife. Because I've told the story like a million times that at the time she was my girlfriend.
Hmm.
We'd barely started going out and stuff, and then there was some issues with some past things or whatever that came into I guess between our relationship. And she said, "You know what? Let's take some time off. Uh, we can still go out as friends, maybe go out to a movie or something or whatever, pero vamos a ser nomás amigos por un rato." I
Right.
said, "Oh, okay." Well, I went home to Awitao, sit down at my piano, with my bottle of water. And so I started writing the song, and I said, "Well, you want to be my friend. This is the kind of friend I want you to be." So that's how the song came about. Basically, I wanted a friend that I could talk to, that I could sit down, share my ups and downs, and just I went through what I wanted, the kind of friend I wanted it to be, and that's why I wrote that song. And the band liked it. They liked the arrangements and stuff. We recorded the song, and it did very well. It was I guess the first song that really hit statewide. Started getting in the charts, at the Hano charts and stuff, and
Mhm.
it did very well. Then Hermosa came on, and boom, blew it out of the water. But yeah, certainly, man. It's like you said, lyrics are very, very important, because that's really what connects people. I mean, yeah, the music, of course, it gets you going,
Right.
it
Right.
whatever genre it is. But lyrics are what's really, really gonna connect you to the soul of somebody. With a song.
Let's take it a step back. So
Sure,
in the times of my grandfather and the times of probably your grandparents as well,
sure.
what would they do? Escribían, ¿verdad?
Yeah.
And they were always writing, and they were sending letters and so forth. The love notes, the love
Oh,
letters.
love letters, yes. Those are the good old days, man. Yeah.
Hombre, y ahora qué? Oh, hold on, let me
Déjate
text her.
copiarle.
Hombre,
I
and right
and then
now,
and then to top it off, it's not even texting, it's emojis. It's like, come on, man, come on, write it out.
and
Yeah,
not, but everything needs to be instant gratification now.
yeah,
And
yeah.
before, there was this whole thing of, what, let me win her over, let me quarter, let me, you know, a ver si le caigo sí o no, hey, check yes or no, ¿verdad? Cosas así.
She loves me not.
Yeah, yeah. I told the kids this, like, hey man, write a letter, man. Let
Yeah.
them know what's really on your mind.
Yeah, and
Este,
the anticipation of getting that letter and then reading it and seeing what it says, but then you would take your time to write back and write something, nice. Uh, I wrote that song, and I've written a couple of other things and stuff. But I tell you what, my wife is amazing at writing things. She
mhm,
has
mhm.
that knack. I told her, man, you should have gone into writing a book or songs or poems or something. She's very good at that. But some people just have the ability to do stuff like that. And yeah, you're right. We need to slow it down a little bit, sort of that instant gratification with the text or whatever, write a letter. Can you imagine your wife, your girlfriend getting a letter from you, handwritten from you?
Mhm.
Wow, that would be awesome.
Not only that, pero te acuerdas que, you actually took the time to hold on. I need to put it in the envelope
Yeah,
and I'm gonna go put it in the mail porque se va a tardar maybe 3 or 4 days. And
yeah, yeah.
man,
Good old days, buddy. But it is what it is.
pero no, I think this is something that COVID has definitely allowed for everybody to. Sabes que, let's get some family time. Let's slow the pace down. Porque
Mm,
you can attest to this. We work from we go out to work and it's dark. We come home and it's dark, right?
no
So
kidding. I just got home a little while ago. And it was dark. I walk out to the car like, what? It's dark, man.
yeah, and
Crazy.
y pierdes todo. O sea, like I just recently lost a buddy of mine. Y
Oh, man.
me pongo a pensar que, like, man, like todo lo que estabas acumulando,
Yeah.
where is it?
Yeah.
Uh, pero no, hombre, es la vida, man. Es la vida. Moving forward. Oye,
Yeah. Yeah.
what are you looking forward to in 2021 with what are some good things that you're looking forward to?
Well, I'm looking forward to, hopefully having, being more out and about with the people. I'm looking forward to, the vaccines to work, certainly, but that's more on a worldwide level.
Mhm.
Personally, I just want to continue growing, myself. Uh, I love doing radio. My God, I never go to work. I love to be on the radio. That's something that I have a passion for. I love to, because of the music. I love to be listening to the music. I get in there, I walk in there because I'm alone. I'm,
Yeah.
I do the morning show. A lot of people have morning teams. I don't. I'm alone on the air. So I walk in there, and little secret, I walk in and I start dancing and stuff. I use solo, you know what I'm saying? Whatever song is playing,
Right.
and I really, really enjoy that. And, I pump up the music and I really get pumped up. Then I go on the air. I do Facebook Live también and stuff. And I just like to, emit positivity. And so anyway, being that it's radio, I love to do that. I don't think I'll ever stop doing radio. Uh, if I would stop, if someday they would say, you know what, Mando, thank you very much. We appreciate your contributions, but now we're moving forward.
Mhm.
I probably still do some internet radio or something, man. I'm not gonna stop. I have the equipment, I have the ability to do it, and I've programmed stations before, and so I know the formatics of radio and stuff, so I could easily do it. But for the meantime, I love my job where I'm at. It's great. I love what I'm doing.
It's at
And
102.1 Super Tejano, right?
puta, anda, 102.1 esa mera, 102.1. And so it's having a good time. And for me, as far as like what I would want from 2021, just for everybody to have a better year, everybody.
Right.
It's not about me, it's about everybody else having and let's all have a positive attitude, because without the attitude, I know a lot of the depression's been going on right now. For me, honestly, being at home, it's been great. My weekends, I wasn't even at home. I was always out and about, DJing, emceeing, playing with a band, going out of town if I had to.
Mhm.
So I'd rarely spend, cuando estaba en la casa, like on the weekend, I was like, what do I do, man? I felt antsy, like, oh my God, there's got to be something that I have to be doing. I'm supposed to be somewhere. I'm forgetting something. So I was kind of antsy. So when this happened, the pandemic, the first couple of weekends, I was like, and then slowly but surely I mellowed down. And now I totally enjoy this. And I was telling my wife the other day, man, I like this.
Yeah.
I love this, man. Being at home on the weekend, spending time with her when the kids are home, which they're not anymore because they've, I have a daughter in New York, otra in Los Angeles, and my son is in Austin studying. So, but when they were here during the main part of the pandemic initially, and so, man, wow, it was awesome to have them at home. It was like we're back together again. And so there's some positive things in everything, some positive things. And like you said earlier, you know with this that happened, I think we've all learned to reconnect with some things that we had lost sight of. The most
Right.
important thing, which is our family.
You know, oh yeah, a quick question. Did any of
Sure.
your kids follow in the footsteps of dad?
Well, they all have the musical ability in them. My two daughters, they were both in band. Well, actually, my daughters and my son were in band, and they did very well. But they didn't follow through after school. Both daughters can sing. My son played the saxophone, very good at the saxophone, but they just decided not to follow through. And initially, my two daughters, they had intentions or desires initially of going into the music business,
Hmm.
and but eventually, life happens, and they started, focusing on other things. But they are in the within the entertainment world. My older one, she is uh, a theater teacher in New York. The other one is aspiring to be an actress in LA. She's of course, right now there's nothing happening. But yeah, so they aspire to that for the entertainment business, but in the acting. They can't sing, they can, but they're just right now not doing it.
Man, that's well. Thank you so much, Mando. It's been a pleasure speaking with you today, spending some time with you, and just getting to know a little bit, of what made you the person that you are. Because in my personal opinion, you have a legacy here in the Rio Grande Valley, and you are a voice. And it's my goal to, if you have a story, I want to hear it. And that's one
Sure.
of the things that I want to broadcast to everybody. Where there's individuals out here that have made a difference, that have paved the way. Whether it be through radio, whether it be through music, whether it be whatever the case might be,
Sure.
you guys have paved the way. So from me to you, man, thank you for everything that you've done in the radio world. Thank you for inspiring others, people such as myself. Believe it or not, you were an inspiration to me. You still are. So thank you so much, and it's been a great, great, great hours talking to you, man.
Well, thank you so much, Jozabad, and man, thank you and appreciate what you're doing. Please keep on doing that. I think we need more people like you out there to do what you do. I know you have a passion to do, to do this that you're doing with your podcast, and continue doing what you're doing, and keep growing and keep it all positive as I know that you do.
Yeah.
And I thank you and appreciate the fact that you even reached out to me. uh, I consider myself just another brick in the wall,
Hmm.
and but I
No pun
thank you.
intended.
There it is. Well, thank you, brother. God bless you, and keep on doing what you're doing.
We're gonna exit today with el teléfono.
El
If you,
teléfono.
oh yeah, if how can people reach you? Social media. Go ahead and tell us what social media people can reach you at.
Sure. Well, I have, of course, Facebook. I have Mando San Roman. Uh, I have a couple of pages for the band. One is called Sereno Mando. The other one's just Zereno, Zereno. And of course, I also have another page called Todo Positivo, Nada Negativo. And what else? I'm on Snapchat. I'm on Instagram. That's pretty much it, I think. Oh, I'm on Twitter, but I never tweet. I never tweet.
I'm gonna
It's
get you. I'm gonna get you on Cameo.
Oh yeah, sure.
Have you gotten on that one?
No, I have not. I've heard about it though.
Oh, it's a
Uh,
great
it-
one, especially for those that want like a shout out from Mando San Roman.
yeah, I've heard about it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I need to get Marco Antonio Solis to do a shout out for my wife. She loves his singing.
Bueno, Mando, hey, it's been a pleasure. We're gonna exit with El Teléfono. Everybody, thank you so much for Mando San Roman with Super Tejano 102.1 with Grupo Serreno, Mando San Roman. Thank you, everybody.
Peace.
Está sonando el teléfono y no lo quiero contestar porque presiento
Once again, thank you for joining us at the Jozabad Podcast. This was Mando San Roman, episode 12. Everybody, thank you so much. Have a great day. All right. I'm going to stop right there.